What girls text really mean. Number 14. What you up to? This text is simple and straightforward. She's asking what you're doing at the moment and if you're busy. While she indirectly wants you to come out and hang out with her, she won't say it because she wants the conversation to unfold on its own.
This is her way of testing the waters and seeing if you'll make the conscious effort to say, "I'm not busy at all, wanna hang out?"
While you might think it's much easier to be upfront and to ask to spend time, she doesn't want to seem too eager or desperate just in case you actually are occupied with something else. If you respond that you are busy at that moment, then she can expect that you'll probably be busy for a while and won't waste her time sitting around and waiting for you to text her. Number 13. Who is blank?
Even in a text, you probably know where this conversation is going, and you can probably hear her voice too.
This means she was probably doing some snooping on social media or heard some gossip from a friend about a particular person in your past or possibly in your future. To cut to the chase, she found out about a girl that she sees as a possible threat. Whether this girl is just a friend or an old ex, it means you better tell her the truth and the current status of where she is in your life, because if you don't, you can expect her to bring it up again. Even though you reassure her that this girl might not be a significant person in your life, she'll still worry about it and keep an eye on her for a few months just to be sure. Number 12. Haha or LOL. You send her a funny picture or tell her a joke, and if she texts back haha or LOL, you might think the conversation is going pretty well. But I hate to burst your bubble, but getting a text like this might be out of pure laziness. I mean, how many of us are actually laughing out loud when we send LOL? Most of the time, these are just filler texts. She might be trying to keep the conversation going because she might not know what else to say, or it might just be a polite way to respond when she's generally not interested. These are quick responses that can be typed in a few seconds. Obviously, there's a big difference from getting a ha 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 versus just a ha ha. If you want to keep her interest, try switching up the conversation to keep her engaged. Number 11. We should hang out soon. During the early stages of getting to know one another, this text might come up a lot, especially if you guys have busy schedules. Most of the time when we say we should hang out soon, we never make an actual effort to go through with these plans, and it's just a kind of way of saying that they miss you. However, if a girl does say that you guys should hang out soon and follows up by asking when you're free, then she's really trying to make these plans come true. Now that she's made the initial step, it's up to you whether or not you want to follow through with her. Number 10. I'm fine. This text is a big red flag, also known as opposite day. If you guys are fighting or if she's had a bad day and you ask how she's doing and she replies with I'm fine, she isn't okay at all. In fact, she's just saying this because she doesn't want to make a big deal of her issues and worries. But even to other people, this response is crystal clear that she isn't okay. And even if you try to ask her what's wrong, she might just text back nothing. While you might think she's being stubborn by not being upfront and honest about her emotions, she might be giving you short answers because she doesn't want to start a fight or she just wants to put an end to the conversation. The best thing to do is to let her know that you care about her and give her time to come around. By letting her know that you're there to comfort her in her hour of need is a good way to show that you're there for her for the good times and the bad. Number 9. Drunk texting.
Ugh, we've all been there. Sometimes we indulge in a couple of drinks that can make us go over the deep end.
When alcohol goes in, real honest and genuine emotions come out. When a girl drunk texts a guy, it means he is on her mind. When we drink, we're more in tune with ourselves and we either start acting crazy or we start swimming in our feelings. By then, we can't control ourselves and end up texting how we really feel. It might be hard reading her text since there might be misspelled words or incomplete sentences. But remember that she'll be sober tomorrow and might not even remember texting you at all. So you don't want to make it seem like you've taken advantage of her in her drunken state. If anything, when she wakes up tomorrow, she'll be embarrassed and apologize profusely for her actions last night. Number 8. K. A K response is the ultimate screw you reply. If you guys are having a fight over text and she responds with a single letter, then she's fed up and done. This type of response is rarely dished out, but when it is dished out, she's hit her boiling point. It means that at that moment, she doesn't care about your last response because she isn't too happy with you, or she's just responding just to respond. Sometimes she might just respond with K because it's the quickest answer. While it's probably the most annoying reply anyone can receive, the good part is that this response only happens during extreme circumstances. Number 7. What are you doing later? When she asks what are you doing later, she really wants to know what you're doing later on because she wants to see if you're free so she can hang out with you. This means she's giving you some leeway to clear your schedule and make some time for her. Of course, she won't ask you to hang out directly because she wants you to make the first move. If you say you're not doing anything tonight, then invite her to hang out, and when you do, she'll feel like she's on top of the world. However, if you actually have plans with family or a friend, tell her of your plans, but make sure to schedule another date to hang out and set a time and place. Number 6. Hey you. Alright, so this is basically her way of virtual flirting. It's a way to grab your attention instead of just texting the old and boring hey text or what's up. She thinks by texting hey you, you're more likely to respond. It's a sweet hello and typically reserved for someone she likes. If she texts you this, then this is a good sign. It's a modest, flirty, and coy approach. Now it's your turn on how you want this conversation to play out. Number 5. I'm up for anything. So you guys make plans and you ask her what she wants to do, and she says, I'm up for anything. So what do? Well, this is her way of having you suggest something for the night. Well, it might be easier to say, I don't know. She wants to see what you'll plan instead. Even though she says she's up for anything, think about what you want to plan for the evening. Chances are if you say you're going to take her bungee jumping, she might back down. Stuff like that requires planning and lots of it. But something simple as a dinner or movie, or even going to the beach or picnic will definitely take her breath away. Number 4. The single emoji. Emojis are an excellent way to spruce up a conversation. But depending on your conversation, girls will use emojis for a number of reasons. Some girls will use them as a conversation filler. They might not know how to respond, so they'll use a quick emoji. Some girls might be busy and will use an emoji as a quick response and will reply later on when they have time. Other times, some girls will use an emoji because they don't know how to answer, but they also don't want the conversation to end either. It might also be another polite way of putting an end to a conversation. They might have lost interest and are using an emoticon instead to get you to stop texting. Number 3. I'm really busy. It's been a few weeks since you saw her last and you shoot her a text to catch up, only to get the I'm really busy reply. Now, she actually could be busy. She might have a test to study for, has a ton of homework, has her family to tend to, or might be slammed at work.
However, aren't we all busy?
Being busy is one of the most common excuses used when a person doesn't want to see the other person again. In order to find out if she's actually busy or doesn't want to see you, have her set up a time and place when she's free to hang out. If she cancels or doesn't follow through, then you have your answer. Most of us would rather dish out the busy excuse because it's easier to say that than the truth. But if she's trying to set up plans and things keep getting canceled due to her busy schedule, then catching up might take some time and effort if she is genuinely trying on her part. Number 2. So, how was last night? You got invited out to a party and went without her, either because she was busy or had work or simply couldn't attend. Now when she asks you about last night, she wants to see if there was anything she was missing out on. Even though the party might have been fun and you drank 3 beers, 2 shots, and saw a bunch of your old friends, this is not something she wants to hear. No girl wants to hear that you were out having fun without her, and will make her wonder what you did or if you hooked up with someone else. Number 1. No response. Getting no response is also getting a response. Talking to new people is always scary. You might get rejected and other times you win. The majority of the time, if she hasn't replied to your text, then it could mean a lot of different things. She might be shy, too busy, a bad texter, or she simply isn't interested. Texting someone isn't always the best way to get to know someone because we can't decipher tone through text, and texting doesn't show our personality. Try texting her to set up a time and place to hang out and go from there. Give her some time to reply. However, if she doesn't respond, don't take it personally, as it happens to the best of us. Girls who are interested in you will make it crystal clear, but don't let texting deter you away from moving on in the dating game.
If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.